Hey everyone, and welcome to Rebel City Roundup, where I'll be giving you my take on the premier news stories from Cork and Ireland in the past week. I'll be bringing this to you every Sunday, so if you'd like to keep up to date with what's going on here on Leeside, please consider subscribing. Our first news story is, unfortunately, a sad one. In the evening hours of December 31st, 2018, a teenage girl was hit by a car here in Ballincollig, just a few hundred meters from where I'm sitting right now, actually. The car had apparently mounted the sidewalk, and the girl sustained some severe head injuries. She passed away in hospital the next day. The situation is still unclear as to what exactly transpired, and Gardaí are looking for witnesses, so if you witnessed anything of what I just described, please report it to the Gardaí. They can use all the help they can get. What it does show, however, is just how quickly things can turn bad when you're on the road and you take your attention off the road, whether you're driving or walking, for just a second. So please, if you're driving, keep your smartphone away from you, and if you're walking, just keep your head on a swivel. It's always the car that you don't expect that gets you. If you're like me and you're walking, for example, for a multinational company, you probably won't be using your car in Cork City a lot, if you even have one. And you'll probably also be aware that bus services in Cork are special, to put it mildly. Well, it appears as if Bus Éireann is finally moving into the 21st century, because as of January 19th, 2019, they will be starting 24-hour bus services in Cork. Yep, what many other cities in Europe did 20 years ago, Bus Éireann is only catching up to now. All joking aside though, the promise of a 24-hour service on the 220 bus route, which runs right through Ballincollig, as well as the promise of 15-minute intervals during the day, really are a major improvement. However, given the reputation that Bus Éireann has here in this city, it remains to be seen whether they'll actually be able to live up to the promises. Given the whole hullabaloo about improving bus services at the moment, I am not too optimistic. On to more national news. Luas, Dublin's tram, light rail, hybrid, whatever network has been hacked. Or rather, their website has. Users accessing the website on Thursday morning found a notice by the attacker indicating that the site had been taken down and that they had captured user data and that they were demanding 1 Bitcoin as ransom, or otherwise they would release the data. As of Thursday evening, the website was still down, although the ransom notice had disappeared. There's still some speculation about who's behind the attack, but it shows one thing, and that's that there's some bodies, especially semi-state bodies, that still haven't arrived in the 21st century and are still skimping on cybersecurity measures. As for the attackers themselves, well, given from the ransom note, they are either amateurs or have completely lost track of the collapse of Bitcoin over the last year or so, with 1 Bitcoin being worth around 3,000 euros at the time I wrote this script. And if you're like me and have no clue of what Bitcoin is actually about, I linked a video by Joe Scott in the video description, and maybe also over there, that'll explain you in really high layman's terms what this whole hullabaloo is actually about. I still think it's a scam, but that's a different story altogether. And our final story for today is one out of my favorite 3-letter category, WTF. You see, a man in Australia accidentally triggered a major police operation. A passerby passing his house one evening had noticed a lot of screaming coming from his house, including screams from a toddler or a small child, as well as several repetitions of the phrase, "Why don't you die already?" Of course, with that kind of description, police cannot take any chances, and they sent a significant number of patrol cars to the house. However, it turned out that the situation was far less drastic than had been expected, at least for the human occupants of that house. Apparently, the man who was heard screaming had been desperately trying to kill a spider, which he was also absolutely terrified of. Now, personally, I believe that the man completely not overreacted, but reacted in the wrong way. Given that this took place in Australia, where we all know that spiders have actual health bars, the correct response would not have been to simply kill the spider, but to evacuate the house and call in a tactical nuclear strike. And that's it for the first edition of Rebel City Roundup. You'll find links to all the stories I talked about in the video description below. Is there any stories you would have liked me to touch on more? And what are your opinions and takes on the stories that I mentioned? Be sure to leave your comments below in the comment section. Also, feel free to share this video to people who might be interested in this kind of stuff. And once again, please consider subscribing if you want to keep up to date on the developments down here in Cork. Once again, that's all from me. Thank you very much for your time. See you next time. Goodbye.